What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a reaction video to Courtney Ryan's Introverted Guys Need to Know This About Dating video. So let's get started.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in this video, I'm going to go over how to use being an introvert to your advantage in dating. So another one for the introverts here. I recently did a video about why introverts are attractive to women, and a lot of you seem to really like that video. I know a lot of you out there are introverts, as am I, so I'm always happy to help you out. I am well aware of the struggles that can come along with being an introvert, but I do think there are so many strengths and powers that you can utilize to your advantage if you know what they are and how to use them, right? Being an introvert is not a bad thing, but it might seem like it if you don't know how to utilize it properly. So this video is going to cover how you can utilize being an introvert to your advantage when it comes to your dating life. Number one, first dates. You're probably thinking, Courtney, are you sure you didn't mean to put extrovert in the title? Are we 100% positive? But stick with me here. Introverts are not shy or socially awkward. They just simply don't get energy from social interactions the way that extroverts do, which can sometimes make small talk or first dates feel a bit cumbersome or pointless. But that doesn't mean that you can't hold a conversation and make it a good one. This common misconception that introverts are bad at talking to people or can't hold a conversation is actually probably just social anxiety, which is something totally different. So when it comes to being introverted, we just don't like small talk. We don't like surface level conversations. We don't really get energy from interacting with people. But our sweet spot is interacting in small groups.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think that there's so much value in being an introvert. And I think, small talk is really not necessary, especially in dating. In fact, my suggestion would be to ask meaningful questions that you actually want to know the answer to if you are an introvert and you're dating. Because a lot of times people will ask surface level questions. They don't really care about the answer. They just are going through the motions and feel like they have to. But I would embrace that. If you're an introvert, you're probably, in my opinion, what I've learned about, people who are more introverted is that they don't really need as much validation or as much attention from others. And it almost feels like a richer personal life. Like they really gravitate to meaningful topics and meaningful conversations. They want to connect with one or two people instead of a big, huge group. And I think that's really cool. It speaks to the depth of their character. So if you're an introvert, go on dates and have a couple of questions that you really want to know the answer to. Even if they're a little bit taboo, I think it's going to keep the date a lot more interesting than just going through the motions on what you think you're supposed to talk about versus talking about something that actually matters to you.
Or one-on-one, which is perfect for a date. You don't have to compete with anybody for attention, and you can really just show up authentically and be yourself and try to connect with the person sitting next to you. Introverts often win people over by just showing genuine curiosity, caring, and listening. And introverts' listening skills are top-notch, so use this to your advantage on a date. These top-notch listening skills and genuine curiosity lead to a better conversation.
Absolutely. And the cool thing, if you're a guy, which you probably are if you're watching this, I recommend that you don't talk more than 20% of the time. Women's brains are a lot more verbal, and we get feel good vibes if we're talking. We want to talk more naturally than men just because of the way our brain is. A man's brain is more visual, a woman's brain is more verbal. So if you're an introvert, that can play to your advantage. If you ask meaningful questions that get her talking more and you talking less, you can actually do less work and really showcase the fact that you're a good listener.
And that person is going to walk away from the conversation thinking, wow, I feel heard, seen, and valued, which isn't that what we all want? My next point here, number 2, is you don't rush. You don't rush into things or make rash decisions. You like to be thoughtful and think things through and make sure that you're making the right choice. We don't want this to lead to overthinking, of course, which is something that introverts tend to do, myself included, but I think this can help make sure that we're not making rash choices and we're making sure that we are making rational, well thought out decisions. So what does this mean when it comes to a date? Well, you might be thoughtful about your responses and the words that leave your mouth. And when it comes to a relationship, you're able to stay cool, calm, and collected in situations that might be a little bit escalated. As introverts, we don't like conflict, which can also be a bad thing because sometimes we become people pleasers, but that's besides the point here. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how to use this to your advantage. And I think the fact that you're able to stay cool, calm, and collected and really make sure that you're making well thought out choices is great for dating and also being in a relationship. Another thing here that is so powerful about introverts is that they're not in a rush to tell all or seek attention. This can leave a little to be desired and create mystery, which is really great for building attraction. Slow and steady wins the race. And I found this little quote about introverts online that I want to share with all of you because I definitely resonated with it. It says, "When an introvert confidently owns his or her preference for a slower pace, the message is, I'm not trying too hard, I'm comfortable with pauses, and I have time." That's powerful. An introvert is less interested in performing and competing and more willing to truly be with you. This mystery about introverts can inspire curiosity and wanting to get to know that person better. So your date might leave the conversation thinking, wow, I really like that person. I really want to get to know more about them because you didn't.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's great, actually, if you're not the natural talker who wants to get all the attention. I actually think that's a benefit in dating, especially if you're a man. I also think that if you're comfortable with silence and you allow that to happen on the date, it gives her room to then ask you questions as well. And where a lot of men go wrong is that they don't give any space at all in the conversation for her to ask you things. They think that, oh my God, an awkward silence is the worst thing. But if you can really embrace that about yourself, that true nature, it definitely creates mystery and makes her want to get to know you better. And then the parts of you that she doesn't know yet, she's going to fill in her mind with Prince Charming. She's going to think you're just Prince Charming, all of those mysterious parts about you that she doesn't already know. So it's a good thing if you're not being overly talkative or spending hours and hours and hours talking.
Just emotional vomit everything on the first date. There's something attractive about this mystery element of introverts because, again, we aren't seeking attention or validation or trying to tell all on the first date. This can inspire a bit of curiosity and wanting to get to know this person better. Number 3, you know what you want. You know who you are and what you want because you've spent time self-reflecting and being alone. Self-awareness is powerful, and it's actually one of the most attractive traits out there. This helps you assess your strengths and weaknesses and is also incredibly beneficial for dating and relationships. The more you know yourself, the more you know what you're looking for in another person. And I think this is really helpful when it comes to dating and making sure that you don't develop a scarcity mindset and you kind of go in with an abundance mindset of, okay, I'm complete on my own. I'm looking for something to enhance my life and enhance my happiness, not be my life or be my happiness. This makes you more interesting and attractive to your date because you aren't being needy or clingy or having this person completes me type of mentality. Introverts are also pretty picky about who they allow into their lives because they value these meaningful and deep connections and not just all of these surface level shallow relationships. So this can really help you when vetting through people and going through the dating process. Number 4, we have body language. So a typical introvert uses their observant nature to read the room and kind of be able to observe the people around them. They're more likely to notice people's body language and facial expressions and just really be able to read a room because they aren't spending the entire time chatting. This makes introverts really great at interpersonal communication. You can use your body language instead of your words. Not every single second has to be full of conversation. It's okay to have moments of silence or pauses. And I think it actually shows that you're comfortable, secure, and confident when you're okay with that. Show you're interested by making eye contact, nodding, leaning in. There are so many ways to show that you're engaged and interested and listening to the other person that don't involve just talking. And use your observation powers to better understand your date or the people around you. And to close it off, I found a little quote here about introverts that I wanted to share with all of you that says, "The best thing introverts can do for themselves is to respect and honor their own introversion, regarding it as something to showcase on dates rather than feeling like they need to put on an extroverted dog and pony show." So I know sometimes it can feel like we live in a world that is made for extroverts, and while that can be true for many reasons, I think if you know what your skills are, what your strengths are, and know how to utilize them properly, it can make a huge difference.
I would agree with that. I think that dating is really about embracing who you really are authentically and not trying to hide it or become something that you're not. A lot of people say, oh, just be yourself. And that sometimes can be confusing because when we're being ourselves, we're not having the success that we're looking for. But in my program, I really help guys to bring out their most authentic self and use these things that set them apart. The fact that you're an introvert, the fact that you maybe like to do this activity that's different than other guys. We really want to bring that out of you and allow that to be a part of what really makes you different than every other guy she's dating, that makes you special. So really learning how to embrace those sides of yourself that maybe up until now you felt were not an asset. So I definitely agree with that. Awesome. So I think Courtney Ryan has a lot of good advice. I think that her videos can be really helpful. I definitely agree with the points that she made on introverted guys who, are dating. I know that I don't think that she coaches or offers any coaching per se. So if this is something that you're interested in having a supportive community where you can talk to an expert like myself or with other men who are in the same position as you, I would love to chat with you about that. You can learn more about how I may be able to help you reach your dating goals in my free masterclass that is linked below this video. That wraps up this video, guys. If you like this video, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a comment in the comments below. And I would love you to tell me who you would like me to do a reaction video on next. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.